Hi, my name is Todd McEwen. I'm one of the product owners for AB Suite. Today we'll be walking through some of the great new features that are coming in 9.0. Static analysis is one of the great new features in 9.0 that helps you identify areas for improvement in your model. I'm now going to demonstrate by using a simple example to identify areas for improvement, improve maintainability, and achieve some small performance gains by reducing the number of unused elements in an application. When you load your model for the first time, you'll notice there's some messages in the error list. When you enable that button, you'll see that this is showing the number of unreferenced elements. Even in sample, which we hold up as a well-encapsulated environment that contains only what's needed to demonstrate all the great features, structures, and language constructs in AB Suite, we've still got some areas we need to improve. And what the static analysis has shown me is that there's plenty of areas that we can improve here. So what I'm going to do first is going to turn on all the available analyzers. So I'm going to go to Tools, System Modeler Tools, Configure Static Analysis. You'll notice that brings up a .smconfig file. This can be checked in so that all these settings can be shared across the entire development environment. I'm going to minimize that to start with. Everything is set to info, except for the untyped attributes and parameters. So what I'm going to do is to turn them on to info and save. You'll notice down here in the background tasks, the static analysis has finished updating. I'm going to bring up my error list window again and pin it. We're going to see that there's 209 messages, so there's plenty of areas we can improve. Let's walk through fixing one up and how you might do that in your model also. You can see as we scroll through, there's plenty of opportunities for improvement. Why don't we go with menu? We've got it open here. Let's filter our list, and you can see that we've got menu, our menu. Just to make it a bit clearer, we'll search down to just menu. We see that action is untyped. First thing I want to do to resolve this is see where action is used. It's in quite a few places. On the screen, in the logic, okay, they're in recall. There we go, that gives me a better idea of its usage. Let's go back to the error list. Let's go to quick actions. I don't think we have a type to select, so let's extract it. It's going to go to basic types. I'm going to call it action to type. Let's check its definition, string of length 5, and we'll create it. And the problem has been resolved. All right. Let me reset the filter. Okay, we've still got quite a few. Let's fix up just one more. Rather than showing everything, let's filter the list down again. Let's pick one of the analyzer types. Okay, all the unreferenced primitives. So this time, I'm going to select all, Control A, right click, quick actions, delete selected. They're not being used, so let's remove them. Fantastic. So we're really starting to get this number down. Let's go and see how we're going. Reset the filters. What I've got here at the moment, I'll have to come back to later. So all I'm going to do is Control A, right click, suppress selected items. Excellent. There we go. We're in a good spot. But where did they go? Let's have a look at our static analysis configuration. One of the other tabs, suppressions. And here we can see all the messages that we just suppressed. Importantly, the analyzers will capture any newly created issues. So whilst we don't need to fix up all the problems here at once, we can ensure a clean model going forward and come back and resolve these suppressions when we have time. Track active item in class view is a new feature that helps you stay in focus as you develop. Previously, you'd be familiar with selecting a tab and going to synchronize class view to jump to that class in the class view. We've gone one step further in 9.0 by making this automatic via an option in the Tools Options menu. So go to Tools, Options, down to System Modeler, General. and then check the option Track Active Item in Class View. Once enabled, instead of manually right-clicking and synchronizing Class View, System Modeler will automatically refresh to make sure that the focus matches the document pane. So if I'm making updates to CUST and then also need to update the reports that reference it, I can quickly jump from tab to tab and have the class view follow me automatically to keep me in focus. The developer changelog and presentation impact analysis are two closely related features. The changelog captures each change made to the model and writes it to the output window. The impact analysis outputs any impacts to a presentation as a result of that change. Let's walk through an example now. If we go to Tools, Options, Changelog Messages, these will be on by default. And we can also write them to a log file. Let's select that. In this case, what I'd like to do is increase the size of the postal address. So we'll look at my attributes, go to definition, post add 1, let's increase it by 5. And then we see the log of the change telling us we changed the length from 30 to 35. And then we see all of the impacts of that change. This information can then be used to check that the presentations are still correct, we've still got room for the attribute, and it still looks okay on the screen. So I'll double check on the next screen, fixed up, open up, the element will be selected so you can verify again. In this case, it looks like we're hitting some overlapping. I'll have a look in the error list and I can see that we've got some truncation. I'll need to fix that up before I make this change. For now, I'll go back and reset the property to its original value. Again, we can see the property changed, logged, and all the impacts of that change captured. Let's go and confirm the same results are also in our log file. It's located in the solution directory. There we go. And there we can see the same changes and where we've reverted the property and all the impacts that that change had on those presentations. We've enhanced the Add New Item dialog to enable typesetting to be much simpler. When I add a new item, in this case, I'm after a parameter. I expand the more and I set the name to be customer and tab out of the field. The template will be automatically set to the type that's in scope. When I click OK, that parameter will be created and the correct type set. Great. In the cases where you can't quite remember the name, and in this case, I'm trying to set the credit limit, but when I tab out of the field, it's not finding a matching type. I go to the template picker, select one of the two new options, similar names. There it is, cred limit with no IT. I should fix that up. I'll select it and I'm on my way. We've implemented a new version file policy to help synchronize the versioning settings across the whole development environment. The version file policy has been enhanced in AB Suite 9.0. It's moved into the project settings so that it can be shared by all developers in the environment. So if we go to Solution Explorer, Project, right-click, Properties, and select Policies, we'll now see all the options available for the version file policy for this model. The existing options are still present to control the level of granularity of classes and folders. There's additional settings now to allow for finer grained control over model and segment-owned groups, types, and attributes, as the segment is generally hotly contested. This is useful in particular for primitive types, which can now be self-versioned upon creation. I'll set that now, save the policy, and then give a quick demo. If we add a new primitive, by default, it will receive its own version file now. As I mentioned, these settings are stored in the project file, which means they can be checked into version control and shared across the whole development environment for a consistent policy for all developers. We've made a number of enhancements to presentations to make it easier to identify and correct issues. The first is new model warnings when the presentation needs to be composed. In this example, I'm going to be adding a new VIP field to the CUS screen. So I'll first add my attribute, VIP. String of length 1 is what I'm after, so I won't set the type this occasion. You'll notice direction back in the model properties window and able to be edited. When I change it to in-out, Painter will automatically paint it on the screen. So when I change the size and save, we'll see that the graphical warning disappears, but the fixed one remains. So I'll jump over to the fixed screen now, and I'll find VIP attribute. There's the text field. I'll move it down in line with the others, add the label, and save. And the fixed warning message is now resolved also. The build comment pages has been enhanced in 9.0 to not only be more performant, but also to provide more detailed insight into your model. Let's start one now. This can be accessed from the Build menu, Build comment pages. When the dialog opens, you'll notice there's a new summary only option to go along with the full report. This provides a one-page overview of your model. Let's kick that off now. Another new feature is the progress dialog to see how far along the report generation is. Hopefully you'll notice a significant improvement in performance in 9.0. Once complete, the summary page will be shown. Along with a count of elements and lines of code, we now also provide the static analysis categories of unreferenced, memberless, and typeless. A great way to see the bird's eye view of your model and identify some areas for improvement. Thanks for watching. We really hope you enjoy these great new features in AB Suite 9.0.